senior cross-country runner. Had almost the entire season off last year.
Yeah.
Got a new head coach. Talk about what your preparation was coming into this season.
Well, having the whole last season off, I really had a lot of time to think, and I realized this was not going to be my last season. I really wanted to go out with a bang, so I trained really hard over the summer, did a bunch of 5Ks, ran a half marathon, just enjoyed it though, I loved it. And then was so excited and pumped up for preseason, and looks like it's going to be a really good season. I'm really excited.
Caroline, what is the mentality of a cross-country runner? It's unlike other sports.
It is. A lot of it is mental and a lot of it is physical. So when we're out there in practice, if you don't have a good day during a workout, it doesn't mean you're a terrible runner. It doesn't mean that you're sixth on the team or whatever number. But you have to learn to let that go. And then you're going to have some days where you're going to be an awesome runner and you're going to be number one on the team in our workouts. But we have so much chemistry on the team that I think that we'll be able to push each other.
When did you realize that this was a sport for you?
I actually did soccer in high school, and up till senior year, and then my high school coach, who is also coaching here now, he saw me do a timed 1.5 miles for soccer, and he said, "You can't do soccer anymore, you have to do cross country." And I was like, "Really, you think so?" And he's like, "Just join the team, you'll love it." So senior year in high school, I joined the team, and I absolutely loved it. And I think what I love the most about cross country is that whatever you put into it is what you'll get out of it. And I'm a really hardworking person, so knowing that if I just run every day over the summer, or 6 of the 7 days a week, I know that I'll be in shape and ready to go when it comes to season. And there's no playing time, it's just how hard you can push yourself. So I think it's just definitely the sport for me.
You ran into injuries last year.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about how frustrating that was and your ability to bounce back from that.
It was really frustrating. I was captain last year as well, and I would come to practice, but I would, see off the girls. They would go for the 30-minute run, and then they'd come back and they'd tell me how great it was or what, they were battling. And it was tough because it was just, I wanted to be out there with them so bad. And to see our potential and to know that I could have also helped in the, championship run, it's just so frustrating. It was heartbreaking too, definitely.
You mentioned the word that the team is together. In my experience, Caroline, I've always found that true of cross-country teams and track and field teams. Why is that?
It's kind of just we're so much companionship on the team because we go out for a 30-minute run and we're talking, we're having fun, and you realize each other's strengths and weaknesses. This morning we did a workout, and I was falling behind, and one of my teammates was like, "Come on, Caroline," and I'm like, "No, you go, you're feeling it today." And she goes, "I'm not leaving you." So then that forced me to stay with her and to pick it up because I didn't want to slow her down. So it's just we work off each other. You can't go do a workout on your own and expect to have the same outcome or results as you would with a team. We push each other, and in practice we're kind of competing with each other. And then when it comes to the meets, we're all together and we're like, "We got this." And it's an individual sport, but at the same time, you need all top 7, even top 10, to really be into it. Or if one person doesn't have a good race, it could really affect the results. So it's definitely a team sport as well as individual.
Why Salve Regina?
Well, I originally wanted to go D1, but with nursing and running, I also want to have fun. So I looked at the school, and the minute I stepped in Newport, I was like, this would be a very nice place to run. And I actually loved the campus. I loved that it was small. I graduated with 55 high schoolers, so I was ready for something, but it wasn't huge. If I went to UConn, I would have been like, oh my gosh, and overwhelmed. So when I came here, it was just a nice fit for me. It was perfect.
Talk about the process of having a new coach.
Well, we've been having a few different coaches the last few years. We went from Bender to Coach Matt Hurd, back to Bender, and I actually think, and then we went to Coach K, and I think that it was good that we had Bender and Matt Hurd in the first 2 or 3 years. They helped build our program, and they helped a lot of people that were scared to join the team actually, get up the courage and come to practice, and they realized they could run 5-10 miles. So then when we had, Coach K, he's a little more intense, but he's the most motivating coach I've ever had. He gets you to believe in the impossible. So now these girls are seeing their potential, and they're just really realizing, oh my gosh, like we could be great, and I think this year will really turn some heads. And I think, you know, that goes back to all the coaches we've had the last 4 years, not just Coach K or not just Coach Bender, but all three of them.
And you and Kaylee benefited from having previous experience with Coach K.
We knew what to expect. The girls were like, oh my gosh, what did we get ourselves into? But I was like, listen, Coach K will push everyone the same amount, but that doesn't mean everyone's going to be running the same amount or be going at the same pace or what. And he's an awesome coach with injuries. If you tell him, Coach, my legs are sore, he'll be like, sit down, you know, don't run, like. But we definitely benefited because we knew what we were getting into. But knowing that, when we interviewed him, I thought he'd be great for this job because I know the girls, I know what they can handle, and I know that we can be pushed harder than we've been being pushed, if that makes sense. So when he's finally got the job, I was just more than ecstatic. So, and I think the girls they're really starting to like him, and they're realizing, like, at the end of the workouts, they're like, I can't believe I did that. And everyone's clapping and smiling. It's awesome.
Caroline, why nursing?
Oh gosh. Well, my mom's a nurse, and my sister actually was very sick when she was in 5th grade and was in an intensive care unit for 2 months. So I got to see, you know, actually that was my first real hospital experience, and I was in 6th grade, she was in 5th grade. And I saw my mom working with the doctors and, you know, helping her recover, and I just thought, you know, I'd love to be able to do that someday and to, you know, take care of my family, and I don't know. So I think that's my main reason.
Talk about the classroom setting. What's been your favorite class here, favorite professor here?
Oh gosh. Well, I've mostly been in nursing classes, so I think my favorite class was anatomy because I absolutely love the body. But my favorite professor is probably Dr. Gray. She is amazing. She can talk to you on a one-on-one level. She knows everybody's name. She's really approachable, and she works with us. She's not out to kill us and flunk everybody. You know, she realizes everyone's strengths and weaknesses, and she's an easy go-to teacher. If you have a problem, I go to her, and she's great. So she's probably my favorite.
How do you handle stress?
Running. That's why I think last year was pretty tough for me. Junior year is the hardest nursing year, supposedly. And I was injured, so I couldn't go for a run or couldn't work off that stress. So it was really hard to battle it. And I think I definitely realized that running is my output and our outlink. And I think when I start to feel overwhelmed, going for a run is just the best thing I can do.
Many years ago, I had seen a T-shirt, and I share it with cross-country runners. I share it with tennis players. But it was a cross-country runner's T-shirt. On the back of it, it said, "Our sport is your sport's punishment."
True.
But you don't consider
No.
running a punishment.
No. I mean, it's painful. I mean, but the results are so worth it. I mean, in high school, I ran track. But the first 3 years, I did soccer. And then I played basketball 4 years. And then my senior year was the only year I did cross country. And so before that, running was a punishment. And, you know, it would be like line up on the line, you know, time for some sprints, and everyone would be, you know, moaning. And I never really, I mean, I could see that I wasn't excited for it. But then when I realized, you know, once you start cross country, like, distance is distance. 3 miles, might as well make it 5, might as well make it 10. You know, and I enjoy the workouts. They're so fun. So I definitely don't see it as a punishment, especially when the rewards are so worth it.
Talk about the goals that you set for yourself individually and as a team.
Well, individually, I'd like to run a PR, which is a personal record, or PB, personal best. And I think that I'll definitely be able to achieve that this year, which is very exciting being my senior year.
Well, it helps taking a year off, doesn't it?
Yeah, right? Also, I would love to be all-conference. I was sophomore year, so it was tough, you know, not being able to compete for that last year. And for team goals, I think we can definitely win the conference championship, and I'm really looking forward to ending Roger Williams' 11-year winning streak. I also think as a team, another goal would be just no injuries. As I've battled them before, I've realized, you know, don't push through it. If something hurts, stop. You know, it's not worth risking the rest of the season.
How did you suffer your injury?
Well, it all started in the summer. I started to feel Achilles tendonitis coming on, and later found out that I had minor compartment syndrome, which could have aggravated the Achilles
like a true
tendonitis.
nurse.
Yeah, I know. which I didn't get enough oxygen to my muscles, and then they would tense up, and they weren't relieved, and they had all this pressure when I'd run. But I finally come to realize that, talking with all the sports therapists and doctors, that it comes down to cool down, warm-ups, and stretching. So now I've realized, really got to take time to do all that, even though it's the little stuff. We're going for a 9-minute mile warm-up, but it makes a huge difference in your body, and you got to stretch really good. And I think the key for me is listening to my body. And I don't think I really had done that before, and I don't see the big picture sometimes. I'm like, I just got to push through this workout, when really I should have sat out or, eased back when I started to feel that pain instead of pushed through it. But
family.
I have a great family.
Yeah.
I have a great support system. My parents, they've come to every single meet. They pretty much come to every single road race. They're always there. And even every sport event I've ever done. Soccer games, basketball games, track meets, cross country. They've been there. I think my dad thinks I'm his, son he never had. But I love the support. They've pushed me, and they've helped me realize that I can do things that I never thought I could do before. And I think having that background and that extra support is just amazing. It's a huge difference, between me and another person. If I could never do what I've done without them. Definitely not.
What's it going to be like walking across that stage in May?
Don't even get me started. I'm going to start tearing up thinking about it. It's just, this is my last year to be on the collegiate team, and that's why I just want to put my best foot forward, and I want to pull the girls on with me and reach that potential that we could reach. I don't want to have any regrets. I want to be able to leave here and just think, I left my footprint in the sand, and, hopefully, I've helped build this program, and it's tough. I'm going to start crying talking about it.
What's your favorite place on this campus?
My favorite place? I love the cliff walk. Definitely. So peaceful. Last year I used to go running out there in the morning just by myself, and it would just be, oh my gosh, it was just, you felt alive, that's for sure. I love the gym, even though it's small. You see everyone you know. It's a lot of fun. And I also have to say, I don't love the library, but I'm there a lot. I should probably mention that.
Okay, so what's Caroline Norton going to be doing a year from now?
Hopefully I'll have a job somewhere. I'll probably still be running. I can't see myself giving this up. Probably doing marathons or something I haven't done before. But I definitely would love to get a job in a critical care unit or somewhere where I can see the really sick and help them get, recover. And obviously not everyone recovers, but I think it would be a huge growing experience and learning experience. So that's kind of my goal for a year, to have a great job in a critical care unit and to be running marathons.
Are you going back home to Connecticut, or
I have no idea. I don't really want to go back home. I would like to expand my horizons, but it all depends where I get a job for the most part. I'm sure I'll have to go back and, save some money before I can just go out in the real world, but I'd love to go to Boston stay in New England probably, but I think it would be cool to travel and really live on my own, but I don't know. I still might need my parents for some help.
What's it like being the oldest sibling? You talked about her sickness in 5th grade.
Right. Well, me and her are polar opposites. Yeah, so I think that helps us. The focus on me is nursing and running or sports or whatever, and the focus on her, she's an elementary ed student, and she's a year younger than me, and right now she's a 4.0, which in high school she never really had that grade point average, so when she went to college and she actually started to take classes that she enjoyed, all of a sudden she has a 4.0, and I'm like, Liv, knock it off. You're showing me up over here. But we're so different that I think we complement each other. So it's not like we never compete for anything. We're best friends. We get along great. So I think that in that respect, how they always say, the older child has all the pressure and the younger one's babied. To a degree, but not completely. We complement each other well.
Yeah. And you handle pressure well.
Yes, for the most part.
When you were allowed to run.
Yes, definitely.
Oh my God, I wasn't recording. I'm kidding.
Oh.